Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We got a great show lined up, and we're going to talk about some really interesting things today, so hang around. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. We're looking at spring weather. High today, 73, low 65. That's spring. We're getting close to spring now. Water temperature is hanging in there, 62 degrees. Been real steady the last couple of days. Looking at our river readings, Apalachicola, Bluntstown, right at 15 foot, 14.7 to be exact. Sort of steady today. It's going to start dropping out pretty fast, and then it's going to start picking back up. So it's still high. Like I said yesterday, I talked to a lot of folks. They normally river fish. They just hadn't done it yet. They just can't get the water right, is what they say. It's got to be right. And that term goes way back. Look at the Choctawhatchee Caryville. The Choctawhatchee Caryville is down this morning at 7.5, and it's just hanging in there steady. A little bit of rain we have might bring it up some, but it's been real slow and steady on the Choctawhatchee River. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Looking at a low tide at 7:28 this morning, and today is, we're looking at today's date is February the 20th. This, folks, February about over with. Strong tides today. High tide at 10:37 tonight, and the weekend, looking at the weekend, not much tidal flow this weekend. Marine forecast will be southeast at 10. It's been coming that way for a couple of days now. And what that southeast wind does, I've been in contact with Brad Stevens, and they go fishing every Monday. A group of those guys on those kayaks go fishing every Monday. And what they try to do, and this good common sense, and we need to all do the same thing. You read that wind and find out where it's coming from, and try to, in a kayak, you want to get out of the wind. Or they picked a place this past Monday, didn't realize that southeast wind was going to be that strong, so they had to sort of alter their plans and move over a little bit from where they originally start. So that wind, the reason I bring it up every day is the direction of the wind, how strong it is because it's so important outdoors, and with hunting and fishing especially. All right, let's take this break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, folks. Rolling in here with some pictures and all, and like I say, I pull them up from different places. A lot of y'all send them straight to me, and I guarantee I get those on sooner or later. Sometimes we'll pick up some extra ones, and this is one of those. I picked this up off the Panama City fishing page, and I don't know a lot about this situation, and it's just coming, I cannot confirm or deny this situation, but here's a picture of it. I'm going to go and read it to you, but I have heard this from several other sources. This is going on a little bit. Brandon Graham put it in Panama City Fishing. This marks dozens of redfish, trout, and mullet west of Panacea, stretching past St. George Island with sores and decay. I'm beyond disappointed with the care FWC is taken toward what could be a serious issue. And I've heard this, and this, I don't know, this looks like sores, but also to me it looks like maybe something was trying to eat this fish. But it's really skinny redfish right there. So, but I've heard a couple other sources say they're seeing some sores on fish. So I just don't know. I just wanted you to be aware of it. How about that for an engagement wing? Will you go fishing with me? I thought it was right up our alley. I don't think any of us want to do that. All right, here's a good picture here. Oh, Steve Barnett. Steve's had a good year. He says he didn't get to hunt much, not much hunting this year, thanks to Hurricane Michael. I was blessed this morning with a 10-point this past weekend. Now we don't have to get deer sausages from our sons. Now, that's good. Go in there, Steve. Steve's a good hunter, and his family, they're all big outdoorsmen. Good job, Steve. Now this is from Randy Isaacson. This is a personal best. This is really good. This is a personal best for me. Total fish caught, 18. 15 trout and 3 reds. I kept these 6. The red is 20 inches and the biggest trout is 19 inches. Water temperature 65. Wind out of the south at 12 to 15, and I caught them in 2 to 3 foot of water, and that's a good report right there. Hoping this is indication tide is okay and looking good, a real spring, whatever. Let's see. And lots of fun. As always, I enjoy your show every day. Thank you, Randy in Freeport. Good report from Freeport, and here are those fish right there. Isn't that a nice mess of fish? Some good eating right there. Good job, Randy, and thanks for sharing that with our viewing audience. Okay, Mike Fitzgerald sent this to me. He was trying for sheephead, but they're not yet on the jetties. So keep that in mind. But I did found a slot redfish in the past, only about a 4-hour trip. So here's the situation. You had 2 trips right there. You had one very productive and one not productive, and about the same time. So, and that's fishing. That's just how, you know, you got to be at the right place at the right time. We all know that. All right, the next picture here. Oh, Michael Parrish. The first day of muzzleloading out of the backyard. Muzzleloading season going on this week, and I'm getting some good reports this time of year. And I say every year I want to get back into muzzleloading. Next year I am. Y'all remind me to do that, because that's a lot of fun. Good job, Michael. And let's see. Oh, this picture right here, that has nothing to do with outdoors. Well, it's sort of if I got your boat trailer and headed fishing and all. I was at my tire store yesterday, and can y'all see this cup? It says Hurricane Michael. This is on the counter. They said they only started keeping this the last couple of weeks now. Can you imagine? And these are all the things that cause the flat tires. Okay, can y'all see them? I took a little bit better close up. They're fixing all these tire stores. They're fixing a lot of flats, and it's fascinating. What it is, as you know, is these trailers and trucks and all just loading up stuff and stuff falling off and all the storm debris just all over our highways, especially on the side of the highway you pull off, and especially these roofers. Some of them try to get them, some of them just leave them all in place. But it's just according to what kind of roofer you have. But it's just a lot of tires being punctured, and that's just one. That's probably a couple of weeks there at my tire store. A couple more pictures right here. Oh, Randy Sonoda, we've had him on the show, Coastal Angler Magazine. He braved some crazy wind and waves to bag a bunch of these today, and you can see where it's at. These are bull reds. Of course, they're not keepable, but now they're a lot of fun to catch. It's right there in the jetties. It's coming through the pass, and that's just one of our regular fisheries. A lot of people have a lot of fun catching those bull reds out of the pass. And let's see, I got another. Here's another one of it. He said they biting y'all. I lost count of the bulls, and this is a good time of year. They'll get a good picture and a good time to catch that. Okay, now that takes care of our pictures. I do want to mention muzzleloading season. Like I say, we're in full swing this week, and we're halfway through it today. Today's hump day, of course, and going on through Sunday. And again, muzzleloading is a lot of fun and an enjoyable thing to do. So if you get a chance to explore it or get into it, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to shoot. I still have my original one. We've talked about it before, and I'm not going to shoot it anymore. I've heard of too many accidents of it exploding, so we're not going to do that anymore. Also, the FWC, I wrote this down. I'm not getting a lot of information from FWC as much as I used to get. I'm sort of having to dig it up, but I hear from, this comes from a reliable source, actually coming out of Tallahassee, a guy with some Tallahassee connections. They're going to start these meetings and all. And bottom line, a lot of times you know ahead of time what's going to be proposed, and you know it's going to be adopted. And next year they are going to according to my source, they're going to a reporting system where when you shoot a deer, you've got 24 hours to report that to the FWC, which is good. Okay, you stop and think about it. That way, you can keep up with the deer harvest, and they're going to start putting limits on them and all that, which is good. You know, they have not said this officially, but this is going to be proposed at the meetings and all. And here's what's going to happen: you're going to start seeing, you know, everybody shoots that big buck, and then they put it on Facebook, and the FWC, somebody out there, well, they hadn't been reported to Tallahassee, so you can get. You're going to have to go in and report it, and that's to me, reporting your kill and all. I know it might be a little inconvenient to some of y'all, but I don't have a problem with that. And we're going to see the same thing with red snapper. We're going to have to, you know, the charter boats already have to do it, and we as recreational fishermen, we're going to start doing it. And it's to control the, control the fishery. So anyway, that's coming down the chute. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, an announcement here. The St. Andrew Bay Resource Management Association, they're having Citizen Science Series next Tuesday, February 26th at Gulf Coast. They do these on occasion, and the speaker is going to be Dr. Byron Ford. This is going to be interesting. Dr. Ford is discussing his hobby of raising saltwater fish. And talk about the water quality and all, and how the water quality affects and everything, and that's going to be at Gulf Coast next Tuesday. I may go to that. That sounds really interesting. Okay, a couple more other things too. I was telling you I'm having trouble getting a lot of good information, and in fact this is one I just found out, and I actually saw this. I read this in the Calhoun Liberty Journal. That's why I get these these little magazines and all. This is a weekly newspaper. I love reading it, but this was in there. The Juniper Creek Youth Turkey Hunt drawing is February 24th in Bristol, okay? Now, Juniper Creek is in Calhoun County, west of Clarksville on Highway 20. There's 3 zones. This is a really neat place. They don't really talk a lot about this, but it goes on about to participate, you must submit an application on Sunday, by 11 o'clock on Sunday, February 24th, and must be present. Now, that's interesting. You don't normally have to do that, but that's going to be a good opportunity for some of y'all don't have anywhere to go turkey hunting and take a young person. So anyway, it's going to be coming up, and application. It's going to be at the Florida Forest Service. This is sort of the Forest Service and FWC sort of doing this together. And Forest Service, that big tower there in Bristol. A lot of things going on there. Also, I've got zeroed into my calendar. I don't know if you got a calendar, keep your calendar on the refrigerator and all, but March the 20th, okay? It's right here. I got it right here, March the 20th. Go and circle that on your calendar. That's a very special day. It's been one of the most special days of my life because of many reasons, but one of the big reasons is always the first day of spring. And this year it even means more to me because that's when I'm just going, whatever I'm doing, I'm just going to drop it and go fishing on March the 20th. I can promise you. We may have a show, we may not. But that's sort of the kind of attitude we're going to have a lot of us that are doing different things now. So March the 20th, okay? And also, it sort of goes along, one of the reasons I like it, this right here, this is our normal water temperature chart, okay? This is average since 1984. And at the bottom is a month, okay? Look at January, of course, January, February, we're right there at the end of February and beginning of March. This is so important. You start seeing that water temperature, the average, of course, is there in the middle, and the high average on top, low average on bottom, of course. But you can start seeing, here's March. I'm going to bring it in on March, and the water temperature up to up. Okay, see, right, that's Celsius. Here on the right-hand column is 68. See that line? That line is 68. So you can see it in March, it really starts climbing up, and that white line is 68. So you can see the water temperature chart, why that is so important. Also, I was going to bring it and I forgot it. I know y'all don't ever do anything like that. I have Marion Smith is a good friend of mine. I fished with him. Our sons are the same age. I've known him a long time. He's retired from Arizona Chemical. And he's one of these old timers who is just flat out good fisherman. He's born and raised here, fished his whole life here. And I just love talking to him about fishing. So we fished some together. He had a place at Howard Creek and doesn't get down there much, but he's really, probably the last 15 years or so, he's really, 15, 20 years maybe, he's really focused on flounder fishing. And he is a fine flounder fisherman. Well, so I see him at church every Sunday, and this past Sunday he brought me his notebook. It's a log of the fish, of the flounder and trout and redfish, but mainly the flounder that he's caught. He's kept a log, just like Bobby Smith does in bass fishing. Well, Marion has been doing it since 2004, which is what, 15 years ago. About his last 15 years of fishing. It's been fascinating. I think I wrote down 4,195 flounder he has caught. It's just, he kept the water temperature, the wind direction, what the tide was doing. And I'm glad I forgot because I started looking at it last 2 nights, and I'm just, to something like that. This is real life, real people. We're talking about doing real things on Panhandle Outdoors. Here's a real fisherman, an experienced guy, and he's got a fishing buddy. They go together a lot, and they fish together a couple of times a week. And then sometimes I look and they had the temperature. Sometimes he was going in really cold, windy weather and still catching fish. It's fascinating, though. So I'm going to share that with you later on and talk about some of the things he did and what made him so successful. One of the big things that made him so successful, he went on a regular basis, and he went to some of the places he had success with before. Does that sound familiar? On a fishing trip, I got a chuckle when I saw his pattern develop, because I couldn't help but think back to when I was fishing with my dad. We was all trying to go back to the same place, the same area in freshwater and saltwater. So keep that in mind. Okay, a couple other things. I did want to mention a midweek fishing report. I wrote that down. I'm getting conflicting stories. One of the stories is that on the fishing report, I wrote down 2 words: not yet. It's not yet. We're on the verge of it. And of course, we got other things coming up too in March. We got spring gobbler coming up like on March 16th. But we're talking about the two big things. The crappie fishing is doing okay, but it just hasn't exploded like they have in the past. And of course, the Spanish mackerel are not here yet. And the big one now, this time of year, we've talked about is sheephead. And you saw the report one of our viewers talked about. They're just not here. He was at the jetties a couple of days ago, and they're not here yet. But it could be, really, honestly, I'm thinking maybe this weekend or sometime next week, the sheephead are going to start popping in. I haven't got a report yet from the Apalachicola area off the bridge down there, or the Choctawhatchee Bay. But it's going to midweek fishing report, and we'll talk more about it Friday. But it's going to be pretty soon, I think. All right, we're going to take a final break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's start with this little saying right here. This is for you ladies out there that watch the show. I just thought this was funny. I hope you appreciate this. Shopping with your husband is like hunting with a game warden. I just thought that was funny. So anyway, because ladies enjoy shopping. They always have. My mom, my grandmother, my wife, my daughter, my granddaughter. They love shopping, and that's great. And sometimes we go with them, especially if you go get around an outdoor store. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Fishing Game Time today brought to us by Blue Water. Now that's a store out there where the whole family can go. I don't know if you've been in Blue Water lately. You just go in there, and they didn't miss it. They didn't skip a beat after the hurricane. They got back together and everything. They didn't get in the water in there. It's amazing. And the water was out in the parking lot. But the guy that prepared the Blue Water building and all, and the Piggly Wiggly, he did an amazing job. He put, y'all remember this for next time, he put tarp up against it, and then he put sandbags, and that waterproofed that building. That was really fascinating to see what happened. George and I have talked about that. But anyway, that's a store there. You can go in, and off to the left is all the clothing and all, and the book full boxes over there. And then and they got hunting and fishing and clothing and shoes. It's just an amazing store. And it's not one of the big box stores, but it's got the same thing those box stores have. So anyway, I want to pass that on to you if you have some spring traveling to do. Also, the times anyway, 12:35 to 2:35 this morning, and this afternoon 1:04 to 3:04. And on tomorrow's show, it's going to be one of those days. It's going to be a video. And this past weekend, I was able to go up into to Gaston County, went to Highway 20, and took a left there at Hosford and went north to this sawdust community. Sawdust is about halfway between Quincy and Hosford. And I've spent a lot of time. I used to work in tobacco in that area growing up, and a lot of old farms there. And there's the Cooksey farm. We just I was invited up. The Future of Hunting in Florida, the organization. And Cal Cooksey, whose dad was one of our vets there when I was growing up, and Cal still has a family farm, the fourth generation to have the family farm. And their goal is a real simple goal, and it may sound familiar. They get young people to try to come and have a squirrel hunt, and they camp out with the parents, whatever. They shoot skeet, stay up there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that video tomorrow is going to depict that, and I had a really good time. Gail had not felt well, so I went over by myself, and I had a wonderful time. So you're going to really enjoy tomorrow's video. Now, with that being said, last night, every night I try to think about something on the show that would help y'all and help us. And I was sitting around last night, and I just can't get this off my mind. I've mentioned it before. I want to go into more, and I made me some notes and all, so like a school teacher, I guess. But I want to talk about the post-traumatic hurricane stress disorder, and I wrote down PTHSD. I've never heard that phrase, but we're going. And it's really, and I just see it more and more. And what sort of got me really thinking about it, and I think about it every day. Our preacher talked about it Sunday morning at church. So I mean, and he's seen a lot of it as a pastor from different people and all. And a lot of people trying to keep it inside and all. But there are a lot of folks that are hurting. I'm talking about the folks that we all got hit at a different in the whole area. To the west of us, not quite as bad, but this main chute coming in from Panama City, Mexico Beach, on up through Alpha and Cottondale, Mariana, and all through there, all at Clarksville, and I know a lot of people just got pounded, and east of us and all. And I was trying to think what caused it. I just wrote down some notes, and I think what a lot of people are hurting is the initial stress. I wrote this down. Going through the trauma of actually being there when he came and seeing the power of nature and all. That was part of it, okay? I also wrote down just not having any control over it. I mean, you can try to, a lot of people, I hear stories, still continuing stories how people holding the windows and doors, and same stories I told a week or two after when we got back on air. I'm still hearing those stories, and it's amazing how many people went through that. So, not having control. So that was the initial experience. And then you combine it, and it builds up. And I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I know what's going on right now. But now, you physically, a lot of us still having, not leaks maybe, but some of y'all still having leaks, and we still having physical problems as far as our houses and everything, and financially, some folks are struggling financially because you have a struggle with the insurance company, and we're part of that too. It's an amazing hassle. You're having a struggle where the people that are doing the work, the contractors, whatever, not that they're not trying to do it, they're just overloaded, and you're expecting somebody at 12 o'clock today, you don't see them for 2 or 3 days, and it's that constant, all that stress adds up. Then I wrote down just seeing that daily destruction, driving to work, that's something our pastor brought up, just everybody's seeing that every day, and it's in the back of your mind, destruction, destruction, destruction. You go a different route, try to go another way. Destruction, destruction. Then you got wrote down the traffic, and again the traffic frustration. It's just we've talked about that a lot, and a lot of us still feel like victims. We're victims because of the prices, the gas prices, the price gouging is going on by people that are trying to do repairs and all, and we're seeing that and everybody's making money but the victim. And also then finally that feeling that really nobody really cares about us except each other, So all of this is added up, and I'm seeing this. I see it on social media. I see it talking to people, and I just want to tell you that we we need to talk to people. We need to call each other up and check on people, and just spend some time. That's the biggest thing we do. Spend some time with these people that are hurting, and reach out. If you are hurting, reach out and talk to people about this. I just feel real strong. That doesn't have anything to do with outdoors and all, but that's what we're going through. That's some real things that we're going through here in the Panhandle. I'm about out of time. Y'all have a great day. Do something good. Really do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.